Hey, what's going on, Guardians? My name is the Black Link. And once you've made it through the entirety of the Shadowkeep campaign, a bunch of the in-game will open up to you, and a part of that is some brand new exotic quests, including the exotic quest for the new rocket launcher, Deathbringer. In this video, we're going to be covering exactly how you can complete this quest and get your hands on this awesome new Void rocket yourself. So, let's go ahead and get started. Now first things first, like I said, you're going to need to first beat the full Shadowkeep campaign. Once you've done that, you'll be granted access to the weekly quest from Eris Morn. This quest will be called The Memory of Sai Moda. So go ahead and grab that from her. Make sure you also grab her weekly bounty, Lunar Spelunker, as well. The Lunar Spelunker bounty is going to have you going through 3 different lost sectors on the moon. K1 Communion in the Anchor of Light, K1 Logistics in the Archer's Line, and finally the K1 Crew Quarters in the Hellmouth Zone. If you haven't done any of the lost sectors in Shadowkeep thus far, they can be a bit more difficult than what you may be used to with lost sectors. And for the purpose of clarity, I'll show you exactly how to get to each of these lost sectors right here in this video. So if you need help figuring out where to go, follow where I'm going in this video. If you already know where these lost sectors are, skip ahead to the timestamp on the screen. Once you've completed that bounty, you'll receive a data fragment, which you'll be using to open a hidden door in the K1 Revelation Lost Sector located in the Sorrows Harbor. Warp over to that loading zone, follow the path that I'm taking here, and you'll find the Lost Sector in no time. Make your way through, defeat the final boss, and then if you head over to this room on the side in the final room of the Lost Sector, you'll find a locked door. If you've got that data fragment, you'll be able to open it up and head inside. Access the data bank within, and you'll receive the next step of this quest. Beyond this, you'll need to play a bit of a necklace collecting game. Here, you'll be tasked with collecting 20 of Saimota's necklace fragments, which you can obtain by killing nightmares with arc abilities. Unfortunately, simple arc damage isn't going to do here. You're going to have to kill enemies with either arc supers, grenades, or melee abilities. Which, depending on your class, can take a little bit of time. I was running this as a Stormcaller Warlock. Basically, here I would recommend warping back to the Sorrows Harbor. Nightmares spawn non-stop there. So if you just rush around getting melee, grenade, and super kills, you should have this step done before too long. The lower level nightmares like the Thrall and the Acolyte will give you around 2 fragments per kill, while the ogres will give you 3, so it shouldn't take you too long to get this step done. Once you do and you've collected 20 of the Saimota necklace fragments, head back to Eris. When you warp back to Sanctuary, she'll be inside the portal, and here you'll get a neat little cutscene as well as some extra dialogue from Eris Morn. Once this is finished, open the nearby chest for a reward as well as the official start of the Deathbringer storyline with the drop of the Faculties of the Skull exotic quest. There we go, Guardians. Now that you've got that, we can really get started. Picking this up will grant you a brand new quest that you'll be able to start by heading into the Circle of Bones. For you D1 veterans out there, you'll remember this is the arena where you initially fought Fogoth the Untamed. This area will show up on your map with an icon overhead, so you can just target it so that you can follow that icon to get here. Anyways, this will be a quick mission where you need to kill a Death Singer and stop a ritual taking place in Fogoth's arena. Take everything out and you will receive the Silent Skull, as well as the next quest step, Symphony of Death. This will require that you revisit Eris Morn. Do so, and then she'll task you with collecting 3 different bones from different areas on the moon. You'll need the Festering Bone, which you can receive by completing public events near the Hellmouth, the Ritualistic Bone, which you can earn by completing the Lost Sector K1 Revelation in Sorrows Harbor, and finally, you'll need to collect a sample of the Bone Collector's Marrow, which can be picked up in the Anchor of Light. Now you can do these in any order, but specifically for the Bone Collector, he's a special mob that will spawn every couple of minutes over in the Anchor of Light. You've probably seen the flavor text for him pop up. When one of these spawns, your HUD will state that a Bone Collector wanders, and the enemy itself will be an elite level Acolyte. So keep an eye out for that text and take them down. Like I said, they seem to spawn every couple of minutes, so it shouldn't take long for you to find one at all. Anyways, get those 3 objectives done and we can move on to the next step. Once you're ready, your next step will be to defeat the High Conductor Solmakta within the Scarlet Keep Strike. This will be an elite wizard that you'll find towards the end of the strike. When you get near the end and you're taking that elevator ride to the top, on the second stop of that elevator, Solmakta will spawn over to the left. So once that elevator has stopped, when you're hopping off to go take out the wizards, Solmakta will be to the left of the ogre that spawns. You'll need to be quick to kill this. If your teammates kill her before you get a shot in, you're gonna have to run the entire strike over again to get credit. Anyways, once you've taken the High Conductor down, you will receive the next step of Darkest Harmony. This step requires that you record your enemy's screams. You'll need to defeat base combatants to record discomfort. That's minor red bar enemies that you can find anywhere on the moon. You'll need to defeat elite enemies and mini bosses to record pain. You can make progress with that by defeating major level enemies. And finally, you'll need to defeat bosses or other guardians in order to record anguish. That'll be ultra level enemies that you can find out in the world. Essentially, this step has you just taking out a bunch of different enemies all over the moon. And of course, you can do this any way you want to. If you just want to go run public events, you can get that done. If you want to do nightmare hunts or run the Shadowkeep Strike, all of that is going to count towards this. But if you're looking to get it done as quickly as possible, I would actually recommend rerunning the first Shadowkeep story mission. That mission, of course, is a mysterious disturbance, which right now is selectable on the moon map. If you run that over again, that first area or 2 is absolutely chock full of all of the enemies you need. I was able to finish everything except the boss kills by just running the first 2 areas of this story mission. There's so many hive that get thrown at you, including red bars and yellow bars, that you can get this done really quickly. You can even sit in front of some of these caves and just fire into them non-stop. It's almost like the old enemy spawns that we used to abuse back in the Cosmodrome in Destiny 1. But if you just sit in this area, clear everything out, and then when you're ready to move on, just restart that story mission, you'll have the initial kills for the majors and of course the red bars done in no time flat. When it comes to the bosses, head right back to Sorrow's Harbor. Those ultra level nightmare ogres that spawn all over the harbor will count as bosses. Each one you kill is going to grant you 10% towards the objective here. So you should be able to get every last bit of this done before too long. Once you've gotten that finished, I hope you're ready for a fight. The next step is going to have you taking on a very special mission with a power level of 920. You're going to need to take on a Death Singer. Well, a few Death Singers to be perfectly honest. If you pull up your map, you'll find a new mission located back in the Circle of Bone. Return to that area, start up the quest, and make your way through it. In this quest, you're going to need to take down several Death Singers, and they're going to have some interesting mechanics around them. Basically, these will be special wizards who are going to sing a song that issues your demise if you let it finish. But thankfully with that, you're not going to have to rush too much, as you can break their concentration and stop their song by breaking their shield. Make your way through the mission, defeating all of the Death Singers, and when you defeat the final boss, Ir Iram, I think I said that right, you will receive the Singing Skull. And your final quest step of simply returning to Eris Morn. This quest step is a little bit difficult, but as long as you're around power level 900, you should be able to push through it. Anyways, once you've completed it, head back to Eris, and you will receive your brand new Void exotic rocket launcher, the Deathbringer. This rocket launcher is super unique. It comes with the special ability Dark Deliverance, fires remotely detonated projectiles that drop void orbs on enemies. Basically, you can treat this thing kind of like the fighting lion, where you fire your projectile and then when you release that trigger, that's when it'll detonate. So basically, you serve as the proximity detonation on this thing. But when you do release that trigger and detonate the rocket, it drops several cataclysm-like void orbs that will track enemies and deal massive amounts of damage. And this of course ties in with the Deathbringer's special trait, Dark Descent. The further a void orb falls, the more powerful its detonation becomes. Meaning you kind of want to aim this rocket above your enemies and then detonate it right at the perfect time to drop the void orbs on top of them. Now the tracking on the void orbs, these things are basically, like I said, the cataclysm orbs that Nova Bomb warlocks enjoy. So their tracking is actually pretty good. And even if you fire this rocket way above enemies' heads, if you detonate it at the right time, those orbs will drop a fair distance before they disappear. And of course, the further they drop, the more powerful they become. This rocket is actually really good at cleaning up ads, able to wipe out entire dropships of enemies in a single shot. The boss damage for it isn't bad either. Given that all the void orbs track a single target and land on them, you can put some pretty good damage out with this thing. Anyways, it comes with a maxed out blast radius and you can hold a total of 6 shots, meaning you should have plenty of ammunition to make things go boom. But alright Guardians, there we go. That is how you can get your hands on the Deathbringer Exotic Void Rocket Launcher. This thing is pretty good and is definitely worth the time put in to get it. The quest honestly isn't really that hard and shouldn't take you that much time to get done with. It only took me like an hour or two to finish up and get this thing. And I can't wait to try it out in PvP and Gambit and all that kind of stuff and get a more full review out for you guys. But alright, that is it for this one. Hopefully it helped you guys get your hands on this exotic rocket. If you've already gotten it, be sure to let me know what you think of the Deathbringer down in the comment section below. And by the way, are you enjoying Shadowkeep thus far? We're inching ever closer to the release of the raid coming out this Saturday, and I know I cannot wait for that. But alright, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like, make sure you subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest stuff we're putting out. But I'm out for now. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, I'm the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.